All right, let's get into the next topic, man. I want to talk about this Game Awards stuff because it's pretty huge. Who knows the full context of the story so far? I know Smash JT was talking about this. Apparently, what happened?
I said I know a good chunk of the context.
You want to tell people while I'm bringing up the stuff?
Well, excuse me. The long and short of it is that Geoff Keighley is basically trying to patent the phrase Game Awards, and it's up.
So we got Geoff. If you want people to take your Game Awards show seriously, maybe don't make this change right before nominees are set to be announced. And yet this feels like damage control for why Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree is about to go Game of the Year nomination, blah, blah, blah. So two things happen, right? So he's trying to, number one, patent the Game Awards phrase, right? Because he doesn't want any competition, I guess, or it's, I don't even know if he would actually be able to go get this approved. I feel like it's too generic of a term to get approved. But then again, I've seen other generic terms get approved in the past. So granted, not exactly very easily. But he's trying to do this, and I find it ironic because Stuttering Craig is trying to do something called the Real Game Awards.
Yeah.
And this is happening now at this time where it seems as if this is kind of like a malicious thing, right? He's not like you had all the time in the world to patent this. Why choose now? Why do it now? Right? And it seems like it's a means to try to silence opposition from rising up any which way he can. So he's trying to patent it. And also apparently they changed the rules of the award show to now allow DLCs remasters and all that shit. Everything to count as what, Game of the Year?
Yes. No, all the other categories. All the categories.
Basically to water down other actual good shit.
Right.
So it's definitely damage control.
Why? Yeah, why? Why do this? Why allow this now? Damage control for what?
For Shadow of the Erdtree.
I'd imagine it has. I'd imagine it has something to do with a lot of companies not putting out actual new games. They're just putting out games that already existed for decades. Yeah, Capcom obviously missed out on all the other Resident Evils, but they can put out a Resident Evil 5 remaster where the zombies aren't African for some reason.
What?
So it says the Game Awards expansion packs, new game seasons, DLCs, remakes and remasters are eligible in all categories.
If I didn't know new game seasons was on there.
That's insane. That's
like imagine the Game Awards is like, hey, it's 2025, and the nominee is Fortnite Season 7 from
Fortnite's
February of 2004 or 2024, whatever.
That's
a
so sham
retarded.
At this point.
Sponsored by Eminem.
This seems like at this point, why even have it? Like if you're gonna have it to the point where every DLC can count as a potential for any category, I mean, at this point, what the fuck are we doing? I don't even know. I don't even know what's the point. Right. It seems like a lot of people are saying this is a cop out for the obvious snubbing that's about to happen with Wukong and games like it. And this is going to be their way of not necessarily giving games that are so obvious that they want to give Game of the Year, like Veilguard, for example. They don't want to necessarily do that because then it's so obvious that the industry is what it is. So they figure, let's just go down the middle and give it to fucking Elden Ring, but we're going to do it with a DLC. Oh, we can't do that. We have a rule against it. Let's change it so that we can do it and give Shadow of the Erdtree, Game of the Year. And that way they can't say that we are whatever.
It's just pure pettiness.
Why do this shit right around the corner from the announcement for game?
Isn't it coming up in a month or something, or even less than that?
The Game Awards are next month, and the announcements are tomorrow.
Bro, what? So wait, when did they announce this?
Like yesterday.
Yesterday.
What? 2 days before the fucking? No way. That's crazy.
They're
nominees coming on November 18th. Wow.
Jeff. 2 days.
I have a question because I don't really follow gaming news or games in general.
You told us.
Yeah. Are there enough games to fit all of the categories?
Yes.
More than
I just don't want to.
It's not about if there's enough games. It's about is there enough obviously good enough games to fit in that category. I personally think there's not enough like amazing games this year to justify keeping a game like Black Myth Wukong out of Game of the Year unless you include DLC.
Okay,
right?
Yeah, that was my next question. So there's not enough like good games, so, they have to open it up to expansion packs, new game seasons, DLCs, all of that.
There's not enough games for them to tell the story.
6 games in that Game of the Year category. What are our 6 games, right?
Final Fantasy
7 Rebirth.
Space Marine.
Well, yeah, the thing is, like, there are a good number of games that were.
But no. They have to be obviously Game of the Year material because their credibility is on the line here, right? So when we talk about like what are the 6 obviously that stood above all, we know Space Marine was. I don't know if it's Game of the Year material, but that was one of the higher rated games this year. Black Myth Wukong, Hades came out this year, although I don't know if that. No.
Helldivers 2.
Helldivers 2.
Helldivers 2. What else did we have?
Stellar Blade.
But see, all of these are games that their side don't want to give the narrative to, right? So
Our World, fuck you, Leon.
Huh?
You're right. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
Sparking, yeah.
I heard that done lost a lot of their players though.
Well, that's a fighting game. That's what happens.
Yeah, that happens.
Not like what 90% of your player base.
It's a fighting game.
So but the thing is, it's not a fighting game. It's not a technical fighter, so it doesn't have a tournament scene. So people are playing it for the campaign, and they stop. It's not a technical fighter, so it doesn't have the longevity like Street Fighter, for example.
Okay, fair enough. So I mean,
Star Wars Outlaws doesn't get nominated for Game of the Year, then these dudes are incredible.
What the hell?
If they don't put Dustborn up there, I'm laughing my ass off.
You know what I'm saying?
Concord.
If they had a category, the biggest flops of the year.
Oh man! Yeah.
People take it more seriously.
That's going to be in the Real Game Awards.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That should be at the Real Game Awards, the biggest flop of the year.
Do they have like an in memoriam in the game awards? Like when you recognize somebody that passed or whatever. Like we should have an in memoriam. But it should be for like whatever game for Concord,
for Concord.
And they should put the amount of days it was out for like 10 days.
Do the same shit. You do the same shit next year for 2025 is going to be Concord again.
Yep. And then they got to put something really cringe on the bottom, like gone too soon or something like that.
But they really will nominate Stellar Blade, bro. In December. I don't remember when in December, though. Trash. That's
depressing.
Either way, like my take on this would be something along the lines of like, Geoff, this is something you should have done years ago, and if it's something you want to implement, you should state it. You should state it and have that shit go into effect like maybe next year or 2 years from now.
Yeah, not 2 days before the announcements of your nominees.
Exactly. Man. The timing's too sus.
This was it's not
sus at all. It's very obvious to me because you only it's like the NFL, right? The NFL is an organization. When there's a new rule that needs to be implemented, they go in and they have meetings and shit, and the shit take years for them to implement the rule. Unless it's so egregious, there's something that happens that's so catastrophic where they're like, not just the NFL, college football, where they're like, oh hell no, we got to change this shit right now. Prime example. I know there's not a lot of football fans here. I understand that, but this year in college football, they had something where a coach took advantage of one of the rules late game. The head coach of Oregon, where they were calling him a genius for taking a penalty on purpose to run time clock out, and they changed the rule mid-season. This is kind of the same where Geoff Keighley is seeing as far as the DLCs and whatnot, and also trying to trademark or not trademark it. What is he?
Copyright.
Right, he's trying to copyright the Game Award names because he's trying to fight off the people who are trying to compete, and they're also trying to fight off these games that actually deserve Game of the Year and everything else. So,
so he's trying to monopolize the word. Okay,
but that's why I keep saying this is a
this
panic
should turn to the Oscars, bro. What the
this is a decision from someone who's trying to do 2 things at once. He's trying to not only stifle competition for the Game Awards because he actually probably does feel threatened, even in the smallest way. I guess they're realizing that the voices of YouTubers are getting a little bit too big,
Yeah.
Especially side scrollers. Side scrollers, they may be small in subscriber numbers compared to a lot of other channels, but they get crazy viewership numbers. Like they get actually, it's pretty up there. 3,000 to 5,000 on average concurrent. Like they're up there, and you can't ignore how influential that is, especially in the gaming space. And I know Craig does his RSS feeds. Like he feeds it to all like podcasts, like Spotify or whatever. He's pretty high up there too on many different lists. So it's a pretty influential channel, and I think they're starting to realize.
Real. Between Craig and Keely, there's only one
like
on a list.
As someone from looking at the outside right in, because I do follow all y'all, Hypnotic, Grums, and Demion. Yellow Flash has been making a lot of videos on this. G&G, of course.
Sheep Stadium, who does nothing.
everybody. This has been a big year for like the gaming industry being exposed by people in their houses, right? Like just completely being exposed. They're exposed right now. So yeah, this is a huge panic decision because they can't get away with all of their old tricks like they used to. Mm-hmm. Now they're trying to like save face and be like, look, see, we do have some integrity when they actually don't. And so they don't want to give, YouTubers and, people on Twitter, they don't want to give them ammo for anything when in all actuality, that's all they're doing is giving you ammo.